Hello there, you lovely people. I hope you're safe and I hope that you're well. In this week's video, I'm not alone. I am joined by a very dear colleague of mine, Natasha Page. Natasha works as a counsellor and she is the founder of My Little Therapy Box. As counsellors, we recognise how many children and young people experience their parents or carers going through a divorce or separation. So together, we would like to offer guidance in how best to support you. So let's get on with this week's video. Natasha, my first question for you is, how may a teenager be feeling if their parents and carers are arguing lots?
Okay, so it's really normal if you're living in a household where people are arguing a lot of the time to obviously feel quite anxious and also upset, because it can be distressing hearing other people falling out with one another. It can also make you feel anxious because you don't know when they're going to argue or what's going to cause an argument. So it can be really quite scary as well at times. It can make a lot of young people, certainly that I've worked with, worry about the future and if their parents or carers are going to stay together. And if they don't stay together, then what is life going to look like? Who will they live with? How will the family sort of look if parents or carers do separate? People might feel quite low in mood, feel sad and tearful, and just worrying quite a lot really about what the future might look like.
I think that's a great point. Natasha, my next question would be, what about those teenagers that are living with uncertainty, with what if their parents and carers were to divorce or separate?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think one of the main things to remember is that some things in life just aren't in your control. And I know that's really difficult to sort of accept that sometimes, but sometimes things aren't in your control. And obviously, if parents or carers are going to choose to separate, then it's their decision. I think one thing you have to remember is, although this situation may feel really horrible and scary right now, is that sometimes if people do choose to separate, actually, in the long run, people can be happier. So your parents' carers will probably, if they do separate, be happier in the end. And in turn, that will make you happier too. And I know that at this point, you may not feel like that because obviously you're used to having your parents together under one roof and living with each other, or your carers. But sometimes it really is for the best.
I think that is so spot on with happiness there. And Natasha, my next question is, what would be your top tips if there was a child or a young person that was experiencing the actual separation and divorce with their parents or carers right now?
Yeah, so my advice would be is obviously going through this is a massive life change for everyone involved. So you really just need to be kind to yourself. Remember that all of your feelings are valid. Take more care of yourself would be my top tip really. So never suffer alone. Make sure that you've got a network of people that you trust around you. So that may be friends that you can talk to, family members, maybe a safe adult like a teacher at school. And just make sure that you do communicate with people about how you're feeling. Also, I'd really recommend that maybe having some sessions with a therapist like me would be helpful. And hopefully your school or your GP could help you get access to a therapist. Just, try and spend time with people that you enjoy being with, people that make you feel happy, and, engage in self-care activities. So whether that's doing something with your friends, like going out at the weekend, like ice skating, or just for a walk in the park, or going shopping, whatever things you enjoy doing, just taking care of yourself, having a nice bath with some bubbles in, candles, whatever things you enjoy doing, face mask, painting your nails if you paint them. So, just anything that makes you feel positive, because it's normal to feel up and down when going through such a big transition in your life. And I just think looking after yourself is really the main key thing.
And if we're honest, it really, you say the word transition, it is massive, for some children and young people, it is life-changing. And like you said in your previous question, like you said in your previous answer, you know, it could be for the best thing, but at that time, it is just life changing with maybe with different aspects of your life. So yeah, self-care, I really think that's a good one.
And I think it's realizing as well that a change does feel scary at first, but of course, the longer the period of time, you get used to it, don't you? It's like when you do anything new in life, it can feel scary and upsetting and a bit anxiety provoking, but actually in time you'll probably get used to that. And sometimes there really are some benefits as well to parents and carers separating. Like we've said, if everyone feels happier, then you know that's a good outcome. And it doesn't mean that they don't love you, you know, they will love you just as much. It's just that they've decided they can't be together and parent together.
And I think also for some children and young people, home life is always so tense, or they're kind of treading on eggshells. I think that sometimes imagining the future, you know, because it is life changing, but imagining how it could well be most probably for the best. Because imagine kind of home life without having to tread on eggshells, where it is more calm. I think that's just that sense of hope on holding on to things getting better.
Yes, yeah.
So my cards are at school, but have you got your box of therapy cards that you can just
Yes,
show?
I have. Yeah. So this is my little therapy box. I hope you can see that okay there. And I created this to help young people and adults to be able to talk more openly about their mental health and to be able to communicate more easily, I guess, about the things that they may be struggling with. Because sometimes it can really be hard to actually open up to a therapist or to someone else that's trying to help you about what you're actually struggling with. And I noticed this with like young people that I worked with, and thought it'd be really good to have a resource that would help them to be able to know what they can talk about as well, because nothing is off limits. And there's lots of different issues in here. There's 40 different cards, and they're all things that I've worked with in therapy. So they're, you know, it covers loads of different topics.
Yeah, I love them. Where can we find out more about you and about your work, please?
Okay, well, I've got a website, so you can visit the website, which is www.mylittletherapieboxltd.com. And I'm also on all of the social channels. So I'm on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and I've just started using Twitter as well. So I'm on all of those channels.
Wicked. I'll also have them in the description box below. Lastly, Natasha, I know you're a busy lady with your work, and I'm so grateful for your time. But what would be the best advice that you would give your 16-year-old self, please?
Yeah, so if I could go back in time and talk to myself, it would be to believe in myself more. So to believe that I could do whatever I wanted to achieve in my life, and also to have more self-worth really, and to not settle for relationships and friendships that weren't serving me well and that didn't make me feel good. I would tell myself to get out of those relationships quicker than I did.
I have absolutely loved creating this video. I was a little girl when my mum and dad divorced, which I think almost made it a lot easier because I was so tiny. However, I have experienced where there's been relationship breakdowns. And I think it's really important, like you've said, Natasha, about the importance of opening up and actually talking about your feelings, because sometimes it can just get really heavy and really lonely, and the fear of nobody understanding you or kind of seeing your point of view. So I've really enjoyed this video. Thank you so, so much from the bottom of my heart.
It's okay. Thank you. Thanks for having me. And it's been good to discuss this subject as well, because it affects many young people that I work with too.
Thank you. See you later. Bye, Natasha.
Bye.